But ultimately, every business uses personal data in some capacity, and every business uses an asset to safeguard that data. Hello, welcome back. It's for me at Privacy Professional Training. I want to show you guys the ISC2 platform, and the ISC2 is a certifying body for some cybersecurity certifications. Now, they predominantly focus on cybersecurity. Now, you might be wondering, why are we talking about cybersecurity certifications on this channel? This is a privacy channel. I'll tell you why. Because privacy and cybersecurity work hand in hand. I've talked about this in other videos, how when you're a privacy professional, you work a lot with the security team. And what that work involves is, it could be a number of different facets, depends on the client you're providing services for. But ultimately, every business uses personal data in some capacity. And every business uses an asset to safeguard that data. When you're a privacy professional, you always work with the security team. And some of the documents that you review when you do due diligence and when you are maintaining and optimizing a privacy program, they always have a security overlap. The benefit to you as a privacy professional in gaining a cybersecurity certification is to be able to understand technical language when it matters, specifically if you're providing services to a company that is very product heavy. Now, I personally chose to take this examination because, one, when I do eventually gain the designation, it's going to be really good for my career because not only will I be able to provide privacy advisory, but I can also do cybersecurity. But in addition to that, it's helped me with current clients to be able to understand their products, like I mentioned before. It depends on how you're planning to be a privacy professional. If you just want to stick with the privacy, this might not be for you. If you know there's going to be a lot of overlap in the role that you provide to a client, then you might consider this exam. So I want to show you guys what mine looks like. We can see my account up here. Let's go to the dashboard. So we've talked about this for the other certifying bodies that I'm part of. Here's my name and here's my designation, Associate of ISC2. Now you can see here it says what my certification is. It says Associate CISSP. Now this associate part means that I don't have this designation yet. What it means is that I took the exam for this test and they've given me the associate portion until I've earned the 5 years of experience. We talked about this for the ISACA video. In order for you to gain the full designation of CISSP, you have to have done 5 years in 2 of the 8 domains. And we're going to take a look at the documents that you should review when you're preparing for this particular exam. So again, continuing education. Currently this year, I've done 5 of the 15 that's required. You can see here that I passed the CISSP exam March 17, 2021. And if you want to see how I passed it and what resources I used, take a look at the videos that I've created in the past, because you can see how I was able to pass this in such a short period of time. This is the only exam that I've taken with ISC2. I've not taken any of the other exams. We can take a look at what else they have in terms of offerings. Some of them might be more specific to you as a privacy professional than this one was for me. I wanted to know everything security related because I wanted to understand the conversations that I was going to be put in as a privacy professional. Here again, you can see some of the upcoming events. If you want to do any in person, you can see which one is close to you. This one's in Nashville. And then you can also take a look at ones that are like abroad, like this one's in London, it's in person and it's later this year. So you can also attend a bunch of events. All of these certifying bodies always have events. Some are in person, some are virtual. And ideally, if we have time at the end of this video, I'll show you guys what my chapter is and what that looks like and how I earn these CPs. So this is my designation, Associate CISSP certification status. I've got 5. And I have to complete this by the time that it's due for payment, March 31st, 2026. So I have 5 months to earn 10 more CPs. And you can earn these by attending chapter meetings. There's lots of ways you can earn these, and we can see that when we go above, like the continuing education. What I want us to take a look at is exam preparation, because I want you guys to see why my designation is Associate of ISC2 as opposed to the CISSP certification. So let's go to exam prep and let's go to the one that we're talking about. So you can see how they offer training. They do have training for the CISSP if that's something you want to take. I personally, when I was taking the test, I did not take any of the training that was held by them. I did, however, buy a bunch of books. And you can see that in the video that I provided. What I really wanted to show you guys is they have a PDF. Let me see if I can find it. They have a PDF that they provide. Okay. And exam. I want us to look at exam process and applying for the certification. So currently I'm an associate of ISC2. All candidates who pass an ISC credential exam, which I did, must complete the certification application process within 9 months of the exam date. Okay. Experience and endorsement. So the experience component is what I'm basically waiting on. If you have passed this exam, there's no work experience requirement, right? For all other certifications, which includes the CISSP, you'll be required to provide an endorser, another ISC2 certified professional in good standing who can attest to your experience. Okay, that's one part of it. And then the application will prompt you to share relevant work experience, and you need to have 5 years for the CISSP. And can also provide an experience waiver based on certifications held or higher education degrees completed. So there's a couple of ways that you can actually get the CISSP. You can have an experience waiver based on other certifications that you have, and they have a whole list of that on this website. If you have a specific higher education degree that is in line with what ISC2 allows, then you can also waive some of the 5 years of experience required to get the test. So you can see here, earning a post-secondary degree, bachelor's or master's in computer science, IT, or related fields may satisfy up to 1 year of related experience. So I'm actually a lawyer. I don't have a degree in computer science or information technology, but there are other related fields that may satisfy up to 1 year of required experience. And then in addition to that, alternatively, a credential from the ISC approved list may satisfy up to 1 year of experience. Only 1 year of experience requirements may be waived by either education or certification. So if it was that I had a bachelor's degree in computer science, the requirements that I would need in order to earn my CISSP designation today would be I would put in the fact that I have the computer science degree, which would remove 1 year of required experience. And then I would then need to supplement that and add 4 years of experience. I wouldn't need to do the 5 anymore. 1 year would be removed. Same with these. A different credential from the ISC approved list may also satisfy up to 1 year of required experience. If you want to get this list, you can actually reach out to the ISC2 and they can give you information about that. Like, see here, questions about becoming an associate of ISC2. This is what I currently am, right? Become an associate of ISC2 page. So let's click it and see. For cybersecurity professionals with the ability to pass an ISC2 exam, but who lack the required experience, the Associate of ISC2 designation has you covered, right? This is the one I have. You can hold this designation up to 1 year longer than the certification requirements. Isn't that wonderful? So the certification I took is the CISSP. It requires 5 years. I can hold the associate designation up to 1 year longer than the certification requirements. I got 6 years, right? However, you must submit your certification application to upgrade to full membership and any time while holding the designation. So I have 6 years to become a CISSP, right? And I have to submit my application, which we just looked at, the endorser situation and the 5 years of experience. I have to submit that at any time while holding my current designation. The Associate of ISC2 designation can be earned by anyone who passes the exam for certification requiring work experience, which I did, right? And we saw that on my profile. After you pass your exam and receive official notice, select Associate of ISC2. If you do not yet have the required work experience, you will be prompted to pay your first annual maintenance fee of $50. And I've been paying this for 4 years at this point. So this is the one that I took. And you can take other ones. There's one related to security operations. There's another one here, cloud security, governance, risk, and compliance. Now, this would be an interesting one and actually probably a really good one for privacy professionals. And we can see the cost of the test. So I talked about the cost of the test for the CISSP exam that I took. For the GRC exam, it's $600. And then you also have one where you're covered to try it again for 180 days. I actually didn't purchase this, and I don't think it was available at the time that I bought my exam a couple years ago. But this might be useful if you feel like you need additional assistance. That being said, I've done a whole video about how I was able to prep and the time commitment. So if you're nervous about the time commitment and how long it might take you, maybe take a look at the video that I created when I took the CISSP. I clicked on this because so much of data protection relates to governance, risk, and compliance. There's probably a lot of overlap in this ultimate guide with how privacy professionals also manage risk for the clients they provide services to. I want us to go back and click on this one to see the price. Now, the current cost of the exam is $749. But if you want to be able to take it the second time within, a 6-month period, you can pay $1,000. So just the test, this is not books. This is just the test is $749. So you've got to think before you take the test, am I preparing adequately to pass the test that costs me $750? It's within your interest to pay the one time. Use all of the resources that are available to you and prep your best to ensure that you're passing this the first time so that you don't either have to pay another $250 to potentially have to study for it twice, and you purchase all of the resources that you need. If you're looking for resources, take a look at my CISSP video and how I passed it, because there's so many resources I personally used and I was able to pass this test on the first try. Let's go back to my dashboard. I want us to take a look at digital certificates and badges. So you can see the badges that I have. There's this one, Associate of ISC2, and then there's Associate CISSP. And the really fun thing is when you earn any of these designations offered by a C2, there are digital badges from Credly. And you guys can take a look in the description. I have mine listed. You can claim your badges. So as long as you're using the email address associated with ISC2 and the one that you use to register with Credly, you can claim these badges and you can demonstrate when you're looking for work that you have taken these exams. And if the person that is hiring you or in the hiring panel recognizes this certification, they're going to be able to understand the level of effort that it's taken you to take these tests. Anything you want to know about the test, you can click above in exam preparation. And there is an official guide that ISC2 provides when you are taking any of the tests. You can see all the ones they have listed. If your work is exclusively in cybersecurity, then ISC2 is probably a platform you're familiar with. But the reason I wanted to show it on privacy professional training is because we don't deal much with security, but there is overlap depending on the client. Now, you need to really do a lot of research to see what types of clients you might want to work for. There are lots of different clients that deal with privacy in lots of different ways. So it may be beneficial for you to take one of the tests listed here. I think some of these are a bit more technical, like secure software development is not something that a privacy professional generally will have to do. This is something that software developers do. When you do privacy, you don't develop software. Now, let me tell you what you do. You provide advisory on how the development can take place, keeping privacy by design in mind. That's what you do. But you wouldn't necessarily be the one developing the software. Okay. All right. Well, the last thing I want to talk about is communities. I am part of an IC2 chapter, the Washington, D.C. chapter, and that's how I'm able to earn the CPs that I currently have. When you do become a member at ISC2, you can join a chapter, and they have lots of different chapters globally, and you can either use your precise location or you can filter based on your country. And again, cybersecurity and privacy are global. Even if you're in England or the US, you can find a chapter that's close to you. Let's take a look at England. So even for England, they've got one in the West Midlands, East Midlands, Northwest England. And basically, you will join this chapter on a regular basis. They will host events that you can participate in order to get your continuing education. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is the third and final association that I'm a part of based on the certifications that I have. If you have any questions about the platform or how to become a member, you can actually just go to IC2.org. And if you have any questions about my personal experience, you can send me an email at the email address below, and I would love to speak with you. I'll see you in another video.